Okay, so during this tutorial we're going to look at the direct show object. So what I'm going to do is go to frame 1, and then I'm going to insert a direct show object. Okay, and now we get this window, and now we can choose which object, what we want our direct show object to play. The direct show object can play AVI files, MIDI files, MPEG files, MP3 files, WAV files, WMA files, and WMV files. So now we can choose here. Defaultly, it's only select to show AVI files, so I'm going to click this and reselect MP3 files, and then we can see more. We can see that I have 2 MP3 files here. I'm going to just choose this one here. Okay, now we have that MP3 file loaded in. And now we're going to look at the events and conditions that can go with our direct show object. So let's go to frame 1, the event editor, new condition, and now we can look at our conditions for direct show object. We have our general ones here, and then we can add alterable values, but what we're going to look at is general is playing. We can add this would be is playing, so that it would detect if our MP3 file was playing. This would be able to compare time positions, so wherever it was in the file, you could compare that to another position and see if it's equal or less than or greater than or any of those options. We can choose less, greater than. Okay, I'm going to cancel that and go back. Okay, and then we have DVD. DVD is full screen. The direct show object can also play DVDs. So I'm going to cancel that. And then I'm just going to add a start a frame condition so that we can look at our events now. So if we right click here, then we have our events. We have all the normal events. And then we have general. This is for the file that we chose. We can load a different file if we want to change to a different file than the one that we loaded originally. We can choose load there. We can choose play to play the file. We can stop the file. We can close the file. We can mute the audio of the file. If it was like an AVI file, then we can mute the audio and then we'd only see the video. We can resume audio after it's been muted. And we can set the position. We can set the rate. We can set the volume. We can set the loop on or off. And window, we can change the height and width, and we can do show and hide. Then there's DVD options. If we're going to create a DVD, we can create window, we can destroy window, we can set window text, we can play, pause, show menu, set chapter, previous chapter, next chapter, and toggle between the full screen and not full screen. All these controls are very similar to the CD audio controls that we looked at last time in more depth, so I'm not going to go through each of these because we already know how to use these from using the CD audio object. So that's going to be all for our direct show object, except for one more thing I'm going to do. If I'm just gonna choose new condition and just compare to general values so that we can see our expressions that we can choose, what we can retrieve data from this object. We can get the current position, so the current position would be useful if when we wanted our audio to continue playing through the frames, then we could choose we could set a global value to the current position and then load the current position in on the next frame and then play it again. we could get the duration, we could get the rate, and get the volume and the size. And then for DVD, we can get the current chapter, and we can get a chapter count. And that's going to be all for our direct show object.